The aura, dear listener, is not merely a superficial construct. It is a reflection of our inner world, a manifestation of the psyche's depth. What is hidden within the unconscious often projects itself outward, coloring our interactions, our relationships, and the very energy we emit. The aura is not just an ethereal cloud, but a powerful force rooted in the depths of the unconscious mind. When your aura is so strong, it disturbs others not because of what you consciously present, but because it reflects the unspoken currents of your inner life. The shadows of your psyche, those parts you have yet to confront, may project themselves into the world around you. These projections are not always comfortable for others to experience, as they tap into their own hidden fears and unresolved conflicts. They feel your power, and it triggers a response, sometimes resistance, sometimes admiration, but always, at its core, a disturbance. You may find that people are drawn to you, and yet, at the same time, they may recoil. This is because your aura mirrors back to them parts of themselves they wish to ignore or suppress. We all have our own unconscious shadow, and when we encounter another person whose aura is particularly strong, it invites us to confront that shadow. This confrontation is rarely easy or without discomfort. It is not uncommon for those around you to feel either an overwhelming attraction or an equally intense aversion. This dual response is the result of the powerful influence your aura has on the subconscious of others. It stirs something deep within them, compelling them to either approach or withdraw, as if they are caught in a magnetic field they cannot escape from, nor fully understand. When your aura is particularly potent, it often signifies a deep alignment with your own will. The will, as I have written, is a central force in the psyche, the ability to direct one's life toward a particular goal or understanding. And when this will is strong, it creates a ripple effect in the world around you. People sense this force, and often they find it challenging, for it disrupts the established order of things. Those who possess a powerful aura are rarely content to simply follow the status quo. No, they are often the ones who question, challenge, and push against the boundaries that society has set. This challenge is not always a conscious act, but rather an unconscious expression of the individual's deepest desires and needs. To those who are firmly entrenched in the structures of the collective, this can feel like an upheaval, a disturbance of their peace. What many fail to realize is that the individual's power does not stem from an overt desire to create chaos or to disrupt. Rather, it arises from the simple fact that they are living in alignment with their own truth, and this truth does not always conform to the expectations of others. The conflict is not with the individual, but with the systems and beliefs that they inadvertently challenge by simply existing in their full, authentic power. This is why, when your aura is strong, you may find yourself at odds with the world around you. You are, in essence, a living testament to the power of the individual to shape their own destiny, to defy the norms and conventions that seek to control the expression of the self. And this, in turn, disturbs those who are not yet ready to break free from the shackles of collective conformity. Intuition, that mysterious and often misunderstood faculty, is another hallmark of a powerful aura. When one is deeply in touch with their intuition, they are often seen as enigmatic, perhaps even uncanny, by those around them. Intuition, by its nature, does not operate within the confines of rational thought. It speaks to us in images, feelings, and subtle impressions, forms of knowing that transcend the logical mind. Those whose aura is particularly strong often exhibit a heightened sense of intuition. They can sense the hidden motives of others, the unspoken desires that shape a conversation, or the invisible currents that guide the energy of a room. This intuitive understanding, however, is not always welcomed. It may leave others feeling exposed or vulnerable, as if their inner truths are being revealed without their consent. The reason for this disturbance lies in the fact that rationality is the cornerstone of the ego. When one's intuition surpasses the logic of the mind, it threatens the stability of the ego's worldview. The ego, protective and self-preserving, seeks to maintain control, and when it encounters someone whose aura disrupts that control, it reacts. This reaction may come in the form of confusion, resistance, or even aggression. But it is not only the ego that is unsettled. The collective also responds to those who are intuitively attuned. There is a certain discomfort in knowing that someone can perceive what lies beneath the surface, that they can navigate the invisible, untouchable realms that others are blind to. And this is why the powerful aura, driven by intuition, often disturbs the harmony of the collective. The shadow, that part of us which remains hidden and repressed, is a key player in the dynamics of a powerful aura. To possess a strong aura is to be in touch with one's shadow, for it is through the integration of the shadow that one becomes whole. But this integration is not without consequence. When the shadow is active, it often projects itself outward, and others become aware of it in subtle, yet unmistakable ways. Those whose aura is strong have likely encountered their own shadow and learned to embrace it, to integrate its darker aspects into their conscious being. But not all are capable of this integration. And when your aura brings forth the shadow, it can trigger discomfort, fear, or even hostility in those who are not yet ready to confront their own darkness. This disturbance is not a personal attack, but a reflection of the collective's refusal to face the parts of themselves that they have long denied. Your aura shines a light on those aspects of the human experience that are often hidden in the recesses of the psyche, and in doing so, you compel others to confront what they have repressed. This, of course, is not always welcomed, for it asks them to face the very parts of themselves they would rather ignore. Yet, the power of the aura lies in its ability to awaken others to their own shadow. It is through this disturbance, uncomfortable as it may be, that transformation can occur. For it is only when we face the shadow that we are capable of true growth. And so, while your aura may disturb others, it does so with a higher purpose that aligns with the path of individuation, the journey toward wholeness. A person with a powerful aura carries within them an unyielding sense of self. This sense of self is not constructed out of societal expectations or the approval of others, but arises from a deep connection to one's own inner truth. To live in such alignment is to be a force unto oneself, for it is the individual who is centered in their own being that radiates the most powerful energy. Those who are not secure in their own sense of self often react with envy, jealousy, or fear when encountering someone whose aura exudes such certainty. The powerful aura disrupts the carefully constructed facades that others may have built around their own identity. It challenges the illusion that the self is a product of external validation, reminding others that true strength arises from within. This unyielding sense of self does not mean that the individual is rigid or unchanging. Rather, it signifies a deep acceptance of who they are, flaws and all. It is through this acceptance that the aura gains its power, for it is the individual who is at peace with their own contradictions that is able to exude a magnetic force that can affect those around them. When you are aligned with your true self, you carry with you an energy that can neither be ignored nor easily dismissed. It commands attention, for it is rare to encounter such a pure expression of the self in a world so often preoccupied with masks and illusions. And this, my friend, is why your aura can be so powerful and, at times, disturbing to those who are not yet willing to confront the authenticity of their own existence. There is a certain magnetism that accompanies a strong aura, a force that draws others in without explanation. It is not merely physical beauty or charm that creates this attraction, but something much deeper, something intangible yet undeniably present. This magnetism is rooted in the authenticity of the individual, the way in which they express their truest self without reservation. But this attraction is not always welcomed by others. It often disturbs because it forces them to confront their own lack of magnetism, their own sense of inadequacy. When someone with a powerful aura enters a room, they become a center of gravity. The energy in the room shifts, and those present feel the pull, whether they wish to or not. This magnetic quality can be both exhilarating and unsettling. On the one hand, it offers the promise of connection, of being drawn towards something greater than oneself. On the other hand, it also threatens the established order, as it calls into question the stability of one's own identity. For in the presence of such magnetism, the individual is forced to reckon with the emptiness they may feel within themselves. This disturbance is again not intentional. It is simply the result of the aura's ability to disrupt the boundaries that others have so carefully constructed around their sense of self. It is an invitation to explore the unknown, the unexplored territories of the psyche, and for some, this invitation is too frightening to accept. One of the more uncomfortable aspects of having a powerful aura is the sense that others may fear being exposed in your presence. To possess a strong aura is to hold a mirror up to the world around you, and that mirror does not simply reflect the outward appearance of others. No, it reveals the truth of who they are, whether they are ready to see it or not. This exposure is not always welcome. The ego, which is invested in maintaining its protective layers, feels threatened by the light that your aura shines. It fears being stripped of its defenses, its illusions, and being revealed in a raw, unfiltered form. And so, those with weaker egos may feel uncomfortable in your presence, as if you are laying bare their most intimate vulnerabilities. This discomfort is a sign of the power of your aura. It is a sign that your energy is working on a level far beyond the surface interactions. It is not simply the mind that is being challenged, but the deeper, more primal layers of the psyche. And though this may cause others to recoil, it is ultimately for their growth, for it is through exposure that transformation can take place. The fear of exposure is one of the most deeply ingrained fears in the human experience. And yet, it is only when we allow ourselves to be exposed to face the parts of ourselves we have hidden that we are capable of true individuation. So, while your aura may disturb others in this way, know that it serves as a catalyst for the very transformation they may not yet understand they need. When one's aura is particularly potent, it serves as a beacon to the unknown, both within oneself and in others. The unconscious, that vast and mysterious realm, has a way of stirring when confronted with the unfamiliar. This is precisely why a powerful aura can be so disturbing to those who have yet to delve into their own depths. For when we come face to face with the unknown, there is an inevitable discomfort of fear of encountering something we do not yet understand, something that could challenge the very foundations of our identity. The presence of a person with a strong aura forces others to confront the limits of their own consciousness. Those who live primarily within the realm of the known, the predictable patterns of their daily lives, their comfort zones, will find themselves unsettled by someone whose very being suggests that there is more beyond the veil of the ordinary. Your aura does not merely occupy space, it introduces an element of mystery, a challenge to those who prefer certainty. This challenge is not an attack, rather, it is a call to adventure, to the potential for growth. But for those who resist growth, who fear the chaos of the unknown, the power of your aura can feel overwhelming. It is as if you are a living invitation to explore the wild, untamed regions of the psyche, and that invitation is not always received with open arms. Fear of the unknown is deeply ingrained in human nature, and your aura brings that fear to the surface. Yet, I urge you to see this disturbance as a necessary part of the process, For it is only when we encounter the unknown, when we face what we cannot easily explain, that we are pushed into transformation. The discomfort you cause in others is not a sign of harm, but rather a sign of the potential for profound change. You are a guide, whether they recognize it or not, leading them toward a deeper understanding of themselves and the world around them. Another facet of a powerful aura lies in the energy that emanates from unresolved inner conflicts. Every human being carries within them a series of contradictions, desires, fears, dreams, and disappointments that are often not fully integrated into conscious awareness. When a person possesses a strong aura, these inner contradictions often rise to the surface, creating a palpable tension that others can feel. This tension, the unresolved energy of conflicting desires and ambitions, is not always a source of comfort. It often disturbs the peace of those who encounter it, for they are instinctively aware that something within you is unsettled, even if you yourself have not fully realized it. It is the very nature of human beings to be drawn to the unresolved, to the hidden, and yet it is this very energy that causes others to feel discomforted by your presence. These inner conflicts, whether conscious or unconscious, manifest in subtle ways through your aura. The energy of contradiction can cause others to feel torn between attraction and repulsion, between admiration and suspicion. The unresolved parts of you, the elements of your personality that have not yet been integrated, are felt by those around you. And while this may not always be consciously acknowledged, it is sensed on a deeper level, often triggering discomfort. But let us not misunderstand this disturbance as something negative, for it is through facing these internal contradictions, through integrating these unresolved elements, that true individuation occurs. In this way, the powerful aura acts as a catalyst, urging others to confront their own contradictions and make peace with the many facets of their being. This is the path of transformation, and it is only through this very disturbance that growth is born. The archetypes, those primordial, universal patterns of experience that exist within the collective unconscious air, fundamental to the strength of your aura. These archetypes are not just abstract concepts, but dynamic forces that shape your thoughts, actions, and energy. When a person is in alignment with the archetypes, their aura becomes imbued with a powerful resonance that others instinctively recognize. This is why such individuals often seem larger than life, as though they embody some timeless truth that transcends ordinary human experience. The archetypes, however, are not always gentle companions. They are forces that challenge and disrupt. The presence of an archetype within your aura may disturb others because it taps into deep, universal themes of power, transformation, love, and death forces that have the capacity to awaken profound emotional reactions. The archetypes are primal, and when they become active in your life, they influence not only your own psyche but the psyches of those around you. This is particularly true of those archetypes associated with shadow, anima, animus, and the wise old man or woman. When these archetypes emerge within an individual, they bring a potent energy that can be unsettling, for the collective unconscious of humanity is not always comfortable with the deep truths these archetypes reveal. They represent parts of the human experience that are often pushed aside in the pursuit of daily life, and when these forces are made manifest, they stir the waters of the unconscious in ways that are rarely predictable or safe. But it is through engaging with these archetypal energies, through letting them work through you, that your aura becomes truly powerful. You embody the very forces of the collective unconscious, and this gives your presence a resonance that cannot be ignored. And although this may disturb others, it is an invitation for them to recognize the same archetypal forces within themselves, to connect with the greater web of human experience that binds us all. A powerful aura is not merely a personal phenomenon, It is deeply intertwined with the collective unconscious, the vast shared reservoir of human experiences, symbols, and memories. Those whose auras are particularly strong often have an innate connection to this collective realm. They are not just individuals, but conduits through which the ancient archetypal energies of humanity flow. This connection to the collective unconscious can be both a gift and a burden. For when you are in touch with this deeper layer of human experience, your presence becomes charged with energies that are far beyond the personal. You may find that your actions, words, and energy resonate with others on a profound level, stirring something deep within them. And this can be unsettling, for it forces them to reckon with the universality of their own experiences and the vastness of the human condition. At times, those around you may feel overwhelmed by this connection to the collective. It is as if they are being reminded that their lives are not simply individual stories, but part of a larger, more intricate tapestry. This awareness can be deeply uncomfortable, for it calls into question the illusions of separateness and individuality that we cling to so tightly. Your aura, therefore, becomes a reminder of the interconnectedness of all beings, and this reminder can be disturbing to those who wish to maintain the illusion of isolation. However, this disturbance is necessary for growth. The recognition of the collective unconscious is the first step in the process of individuation, where we come to terms with the fact that we are both unique and part of something much larger than ourselves. It is in this tension between the personal and the collective that we begin to forge our true selves, and through this disturbance, the transformation of the individual begins. Individuation, the process of becoming the person one is meant to be, not an easy journey, and it is often not a journey that others around you will support, especially when your aura disrupts their own paths. The very act of individuation challenges the conventional expectations of society, and those who are caught in the web of collective norms may feel threatened by your authentic path. When your aura radiates the energy of individuation, it forces others to confront their own lack of development, their own unexamined lives. This challenge can evoke a variety of responses. Some may feel inspired by your presence, drawn to begin their own journey of self-discovery. Others, however, may resist your energy, rejecting your authenticity because it highlights their own unwillingness to break free from the constraints of societal expectations. This resistance is a natural reaction, for to witness someone undergoing individuation is to be reminded of one's own inner conflict, the tension between conformity and the call to become one's true self. Yet, the very essence of individuation is about embracing one's uniqueness, embracing the totality of one's being. As you embody this process, your aura becomes a mirror for others, reflecting back to them their own potential for transformation. Though it may disturb, it also opens the door to greater self-awareness. The challenge you present is not one of conflict, but of invitation, urging others to embark on their own path of self-realization. A potent aura carries with it the ability to create and destroy, for in the psychic realm, power is never neutral. Your energy can be a force of profound transformation, for the unconscious is a space where both creation and destruction coexist. When you radiate such an energy, others may feel both the allure of your presence and the fear that you hold the power to shatter the fragile constructs they have built around their lives. Creation comes with destruction, and transformation often arises out of chaos. When your aura disturbs others, it may feel like the dismantling of their world as they know it. But it is through this destruction that new forms can emerge, more aligned with the deeper truths of existence. Your aura does not simply disrupt for the sake of disruption. It creates the conditions for profound change, and through that change, growth and renewal. Thus, while others may fear the power of your aura, understand that this power is not wielded recklessly. It is a force that seeks to break down what is false, to clear away the debris of the ego and to make way for the birth of a more authentic existence. And though this process may be painful, it is through this very disturbance that the potential for greater life, greater meaning, and greater individuation is realized. In conclusion, a powerful aura is not simply an external presence. It is a reflection of your inner depths, your alignment with the unconscious, and the integration of your true self. It disrupts because it calls others to confront their own shadows, challenges their comfort zones, and forces them to question the very constructs of their identity. Though this disturbance may be uncomfortable, it is the catalyst for growth and transformation. Embrace the power of your aura, for it is a sign that you are walking the path of self-realization and individuation.